Welcome to Secrets from the Saddle podcast. I'm Sylvie, your host, fellow cyclist, bike club founder, cycling coach, bike race junkie, just truly super passionate about cycling. My journey with cycling started 20 years ago when I opened a spin studio, started a women's race team, and founded a women's only cycling club called Cycle Fit Chicks. I'm super thrilled to reveal all aspects that make the world of cycling operate. I'm so excited to be able to bring you interesting people from around the world, pro cyclists, recreational cyclists, coaches, event organizers, bike shop owners, everything and everyone you need to know or ever wondered about when it comes to cycling. I know you'll enjoy this episode.
Need help creating the online business you've been dreaming about? Well, it's a good thing you're here because that's exactly what we're going to help you with. Hi, I'm Sarah Jansel, a friend and colleague of Sylvie's. I have over 20 years helping build and grow businesses, and today I help people do that on Shopify. If you want to build an online store, redesign one you have, set up email marketing, or just need some coaching or custom work, we can help you with that. Our goal is to help you sell more of the amazing products and services that you want to share with the world. I believe the world would be a better place if more people could build awesome businesses they love. So to help you get started with yours, today you're going to save $150 off a new store or a redesigned store. It's available for a limited time only, and all you have to do to take advantage of this is pop over to www.janselandco.com/services. That's JANSELAND.co/services. And let us know you heard this amazing podcast to get your quote and $150 off today.
All right. Welcome back to another episode of Secrets from the Saddle, All Things Cycling podcast with your host, Sylvie Doe. And I just met this amazing woman, Donna Gatz. I hope it's Gatz. Is that it?
Yeah.
Awesome. On a woman's gravel page. And so I don't even know. I think she commented on something, and then I looked at her page and I'm like, oh my God, she's a BMXer. And I'm like, I don't have any BMXers in here. And then I was talking to her and she's like, yeah, I just made it into world's amateurs. And I was just like, what? And she's like, I'm 60. I'm like, oh my God, girl, you need to be on my podcast. So welcome, Donna. She also promised, she said she has this, I said, I need to have you on the podcast before you get all famous. And she said, well, I got a famous story. So welcome, Donna, to the podcast. I can't wait to get to know you.
Thank you. It's really fun to be here. And actually, this is my first podcast interview. So there you go.
It'll be one of many, I'm sure.
I don't know about that.
So Donna, like you said, she's a BMXer. She's 6 years old. She's going to give us her story. Because I am inspired by women like you. I have a friend, Patty. She's 65, and she just rips up the mountain and cyclocross courses like there's nobody's business. She does have a background of sport, however, but still, she's 65 and she's still ripping it up. I'm like, if I could keep myself going to be like that at 65, like you ladies, I mean, I think I did something good in my 50s, right?
That's kind of how it works. Yeah.
Yeah. So Donna, my first question is, and only question is, how did you get into cycling, and how did you gravitate towards BMX of all sport?
I know, honestly, if you were to ask me if I was going to do BMX even 5 years ago, I would have said, no, that's not going to happen.
I
didn't even know what BMX racing was, but as a kid, we always had bicycles, and that was just one of the recreational things. We had a big family, and mom and dad were like, get outside. So, you hop on your bike and do something.
Yeah.
But honestly, I didn't really get into cycling until I was an adult. And, I was on my own after a marriage, and I thought, I want to get something for myself that is going to make me feel good. So I bought a bike. I bought this Marin Novato. I still have it, actually. It's a 16-year-old bike. It's my commuter.
Amazing. Yep.
Hybrid, which really isn't hybrid. But so I used that, and I became a bicycle commuter. I was a bicycle commuter for about 6 years. It wasn't really that far. It was like 8 miles to work.
Okay.
So I just started doing that. And then I started seeing stuff about bicycle touring. I thought, oh, that's kind of cool. So I put some racks on my bike, and did a couple of tours. I did a little week-long one down to San Diego. It was about a 300-mile one, did the whole tenting thing and all. And it was all about, I wonder if I can do this. It's all about me thinking, can I accomplish this? And so, you do the research, you figure it out, you do it, and you're like, bam, what's next? So, so I was a bicycle commuter, and actually I was such a bicycle commuter that at one point, after about 5 years, I sold my car and said, I'm going to go hardcore on this. So I sold my car, and I was car free for about 2 years, relying on, our really kind of crummy transportation system in LA, and bicycle commuting, it was actually a real blast. So I did that for about 2.5 years, and then ended up getting back into cars. I got a motorcycle stuff. But then I learned about mountain biking, and I thought, oh, that looks kind of cool. I wonder if I can do that. So I got a mountain bike, and we actually have a really cool group out here, Girls Gone Riding. Wendy Engelberg is the founder of this, and there are now chapters throughout California, Arizona. I think there's 11 chapters, most of which are in California, but she's been a phenomenal force with women's mountain biking, just getting more women into the sport. So I went and I joined them, and you go out on group rides, no drop rides, and it's a fantastic experience. So I did get into a race there. I was DFL. I'm sure you know what that means. And so
that's okay. Well, for those of our listeners who don't know what DFL means, as it did not finish.
Yeah.
DNF.
Yeah, that's a nice way of putting it. Yeah. So I thought, well, okay, maybe mountain bike racing isn't for me. I have a really competitive spirit. I was competitive in beach volleyball for years, and I thought, I really need to do something competitive. And so I thought, maybe if I go to a pump track, I'll be better at mountain biking. So I did a Google search for mountain bike, for pump tracks, and it came up with Bellflower BMX. And I'm looking at the Google map going, that is not a pump track. It goes from one end to the other. But I thought, I will go and figure out what this is. And I saw what these people were doing, and I loved it immediately. I sat in the stands because I was too afraid, because there's berms and there's jumps and stuff. And I see little kids going on it. I'm thinking, you're like going to fall over. But yeah, the first time I got on the track in the beginner clinic, I was like, I have to get a bike. Went to the bike shop, and they set me up with a bike. That's my race bike right there. That's Pippi Longshot.
Love it.
It's an SE 2018 SE Flivel Flyer. Pretty much a stock bike. I've only changed a couple components on it, but yeah, that's my race bike that's been with me ever since I started in 2018. So and I've got to give a shout out to our local track, which is Bellflower BMX, because they started the track over 20 years ago. Joe Wassenauer found out that there was some land available at this sports park. And so he decided to hook up with the local bike shop, which was run by a guy named Jeff. He said, yeah, let's go ahead and support you. So he built this track, and then he decided to do something else. So his brother, Jeff Wassenauer, who is currently one of the big guys there, he's our gate dropper and everything. He said, yeah, let's do this. He pulled in Tammy Estep to be the track operator. And they've been running this thing flawlessly with our group of volunteers.
Wow.
And we've got a wonderful support system there. You've got to have people that run the track with you. Mm-hmm. So, Tammy, Jeff, we've got Jim, we've got Ileana, we've got Erica, all these people who have joined Jeff just to keep BMX in our area. Because, when you're talking about a land lease, you're talking about, there's going to be politics involved, and you've got to know how to prove that you're running this track to keep it open. So got to give a shout out to those guys. But yeah, wow. BMX has been a huge part of me since 2018. And I started racing. Like I say, I started actually on the track in June of 2018. I did my first local race about a month later. And then a month after that, they were saying, there's other races you can do. There's state, there's Gold Cup, and there's nationals. So, and me, I didn't know like how big nationals really were. Yeah. People come from different states, obviously. So yeah, and I went and just did all these things, just like, can I do it? Can I do it? And it was an amazing experience. Then about probably a year after that, I was in kind of a bad crash and I was out for a year.
Oh,
And
wow.
I ended up, stuff happens, BMX, you get in the gate and stuff is going to happen. You don't know what's going to happen. So,
what kind of crash
what
did you
I remember,
have?
well, I don't remember.
What you remember?
I don't
Oh my
remember
gosh.
it that well. I remember that.
Wow.
I remember that there were 2 guys and 2 gals, and the 2 guys were way ahead of us because sometimes you get a mixed moto, and you don't know if you're going to be racing with guys in our division. But so we let the guys go, and me and this gal were racing, and I don't even remember who she was, but she was ahead of me, and I saw that she was losing control in the rhythm section. And I thought, the rhythm section goes like this.
Oh, is that those little bumpy thing? Yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah.
And that's where you don't want to crash. But I saw her losing control, and she went to the right, and I thought, oh, I'll just go around her. And then she came back. And so I ran over her. It was bad, but I ended up breaking my rib and tearing my shoulder and ruptured a bicep. So between all the surgeries, it took a while to get back in it. But, and a lot of people were like, at the time I was 57, and people were like, yeah, maybe you shouldn't do it. And I thought, no, I need to see if I can do this again, because it's really just so much fun. Even if you decide not to race, because we have plenty of women who go out and they don't race, but they just get on the track because it's fun. It's so much fun. And so I got back out there, ended up, actually my recovery was during the beginning of COVID. So the tracks were shut down anyway. But so it's been kind of a wild ride. I've had the opportunity to train with some of the best people at our track. We have Robert de Vilde, who is he was a Dutch champion, European champion, world champion, Olympian, and he happens to be at our track. So I started training with him just about 4 months ago. And all the other guys, we have Joe Blatchford. He's one of our coaches for the beginning. My original coach was Mark Estep, which is our track operator's son. So I've had all these people just by the luck of being at this one track who have helped me improve my skills.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. And, as a gravel rider that you can try to do it on your own and hope you do better. But once you have guidance and, professional input, it just makes you that much better.
Yeah. I'm just getting into gravel. So I get that, but I've gone through that with road and yeah. So I need to find people to ride with. That's my thing now.
That can be the tough part too. And that's kind of what made me gravitate more toward BMX than mountain biking, because with mountain biking, my local trails, that's fine. It's a small area and, you can't get lost. And if you get injured, your ranger is right there. Otherwise, you need to find a group or at least somebody else who wants to go on that trail at the same time on the same day. Whereas with BMX, the track is open. You've got tens or hundreds of people there at the same time. Yeah. And it's just, you get on the track for a minute and you're done. Then you go back up. That's what makes it more appealing to me. It's like I'm not out there for 3 hours.
Yeah. Oh my God, 2 hours. I went there. I took the kids a couple of times to pump tracks over COVID because, we just like driving around looking for something to do. And so we had one BMX, but we had mountain bikes and we just like play around on it. It was so much fun. It was fun. And you got a good point there. You show up when, everybody's around and you can always get like good feedback or instruction from someone that's around. Yeah.
Yeah. And that's pretty vital because, you can get a book. I have books about BMX and it says, do this, but unless you have somebody giving you feedback, you're not going to, I'm not going to set my GoPro and film myself and say, oh, I did this right. Yeah.
Well, that's a really good point too, because it's great to read. I've got lots of books too, how to get faster, how to this, how to that. You just like, but you know what? I could just pay somebody a little bit more and get some like personalized instruction on what I need, instead of picking through like what I think I might need. And so being a coach myself, it's, I highly recommend it.
Well, you have the ability and you have the knowledge to give personalized instruction, and that's where it comes for me when Robert is coaching me and I'm sitting in the gate and he'll stand right in front of me and say, do this. He'll give me that one focus for that one lap. And that's vital. Everything else is gone. He said, don't worry about the people around you. I don't know if you've seen a BMX race, but everybody is in the gate. There's 8 people in the gate and you're in close proximity. Yeah. And that can be really intimidating. But his thing is, focus on your race. It's your race. You follow your line and do this one thing that I'm telling you to do. So that's very key, because when it comes down to those big races, you want to be able to say, I've got it all together, and it just is going to work. Yeah. So, yeah. But,
yeah. Like you were saying, like, it's like a road race too, when you're getting there for the first time. I'll just talk, crits are easy. So it's kind of like a BMX, right? Cause you're just keep going around and around, but yours is like one track and you're done. But, it's totally intimidation. And when I used to get coached, it'd be like, okay, this race, this is your focus. Like, you're going to try this, you're going to try and that's it. Like, whether you're finished or not, that's what you're going to be working on. And you save the big stuff for the A race, like the one that counts the most, but you're trying different strategy. You got to find out what works.
Oh, exactly. And I actually had to ask my coach last week, because Worlds is in France toward the middle-ish, endish of July. Yeah. But the week before is a national in Vegas. And I love Vegas because it's a short track and I'm a sprinter. Worlds is going to be longer. And it's, you think it's not that long because you're on the track for less than a minute anyways. But if you have to go 20 more seconds, your legs might or might not agree with that. Yeah. So I had said, should I do Vegas? And his question, every time I ask him a question, his response is, why? Because you better have a good reason. And otherwise, it's which is really good. He goes, why do you want to do Vegas? And I said, I just want to try some of the stuff that you've been coaching me on, because some of this stuff, it can be kind of aggressive, and I don't want to scare the local people who, they're taking the same sessions I am, but we also don't want to knock each other off the track. Right. And I haven't raced nationals a lot, because when I started this year, the BMX competition year goes from January 1st to December 15th. And so you have all this time. I know. What is that, your season? Right?
Seriously?
That is the season. I know.
You got 15 days off? My gosh.
But they have a lot of, you pick and choose what you want to race.
Yeah, I know. But like,
you and it includes everything, like local races, state races, Gold Cup, and nationals. There's dozens of national races in every state that you can do. Right. So, but when I started the year, I kind of thought, I'm going to go for a national number, or a NAG number, national age group, because I race 56 and over. And the big thing is you go to the right races, you race the right people, and you get the right points. That's just how it works. You pass out that money for that reason. So when I started the year, I thought I'll do that. And I thought I'm still going to try to qualify for Worlds, but it's kind of like, I probably won't, because there's so many women out there that are faster than me, because it's 40 and over for Worlds. So I have, the age group is much greater.
Wow.
So I started accumulating my national points, because everyone wants to be NAG 1, but they give plates from NAG 1 to NAG 10. So it's kind of like, whatever. But then I went to the qualifier and I qualified, and only because, and this is the caveat for that, not everybody's going to go to France. Okay. It's not in the budget, and it's not, it's the expense. It's an expensive sport when you get to that point. So I did qualify. And then suddenly, of course, my mindset shifted to, oh my God, I have to race these aggressive European women now.
Well, that's the thing, right? This is totally different. Like, if you talk to cyclists who go from Canada to United States to UK, like, or to Europe, totally, like, it's like night and day. Yeah. Do Vegas.
And see, that was the thing. He said, why do you want to do this? I said, I've got to try some of the stuff that you've been coaching me on. Plus, I love short track. I said, Vegas is so close for me. I don't have to fly. I can drive. And so it's one of the less expensive nationals to do.
Yeah.
So he said, okay. He goes, are you planning to be really careful so you don't get hurt because of Worlds being the next week? And I said, well, not exactly. I said, because if I'm going to try what you've told me, then why would I
No.
go? He goes, okay, go ahead and do it. Because he said, if you were going to do it and try not to get hurt, I would tell you not to do it. So we were on
Oh,
the same mindset, was just try this stuff, you know.
yeah.
It's not even about the points at this point, because you know, the expense of going to Worlds is like going to 3 nationals in the US. So my season is pretty much over after Worlds until I go to Grands. So it's going to be kind of a crazy hectic July, but it'll also kind of push me to improve and see what I've been able to accomplish in the short time I've been training with Robert. So yeah, because he's really been pushing me and saying, you know, you've got to learn how to do this, because that's what you're going to see in France. You know, these women are no joke. They are going to do stuff and you just have to get used to it. That's exactly it.
You get the elbow. You get the elbow.
There's that
You're gonna have to ride like this, Donna.
Exactly. And that's what he was saying. He said, you know, there's a saying, and it's, if you're not rubbing, you're not racing.
Oh, so, Jesus.
And I don't like that, because I'll tell you what, in 56 and over, most of the women are kind of like, when we pass each other, like, excuse me, I'm sorry. Oh no, go ahead, go, you go, you're faster than me. We'll be on the berm and it's like, oh, bye, Suzanne. And so, but now he's kind of like, no, you got to get, you know, you can't do that.
This is Worlds.
This is Worlds, and these people are not kidding. And he said, you got to get used to it, because these gals are used to going down this huge Supercross starting gate. And I'm like, yeah, okay, well, we'll see what happens. So yeah, but I'll tell you what happened last year, though, which was a surprise to me. We have
is this
BMX
your famous story?
It is my famous story.
All right, let's hear it.
So last year, we have the Grands National, which is like the Super Bowl of BMX in November. It's Thanksgiving week. And it was my first
Is this in California?
No, this is actually, it's in Tulsa, Oklahoma. So you have thousands of people from across the US going to Tulsa for the Grand Nationals, and everybody wants to be number one. Everybody wants to win that race and get that 7-foot trophy and everything. Wow. And I'm thinking, you know, okay, it's my first Grands. I just want to get around this track, because it's technical. It's a technical track. And if you're not used to being sent in the air, then you can go flying and crash and whatever. So I did end up winning Grands. There was a little tussle. No, there was a tussle in the first turn with some other women. So I snuck down and went low and got it.
Oh, cool. And then they took all themselves out. So it was just you on the track?
No, they almost did. I was like, oh gosh, okay, I'm just going to keep going. And I'm riding. I'm thinking, okay, they're going to pass me pretty soon. I'm just waiting.
You're like, just keep going. I'm in the front.
Yeah. So I ended up winning Grands. And when I came back, I went to another local track. I'm lucky enough to live in just the right spot where within 2 hours of me, there are at least 7 BMX tracks. Oh. California has more than 30, which is like the ultimate state to live in for BMX.
Yeah.
Where other states only have 1. So I came back, I went to Yucaipa, and the announcer there, his name is Mike Miller. Got to give him a shout out too.
All right, Mike Miller.
Yeah. He said, so I'm in the gate for this local race. And he says, oh, look who's joined us, the world famous Donna Gatz and Pippi, because, you know, Pippi has to be in part of this too. So there's been this hashtag thing that we've been doing back and forth. And I thought, you know, I'm not world famous. You know, I'm 59 years old or 60 years old, and I've got this incredible opportunity to race BMX. But we keep doing this world famous thing. So I started an album on Facebook, on my Facebook page. And it's called Selfies with People Who Aren't Quite as Famous as Me. But these people are definitely more well-known than I am. So when I went to Houston earlier this year for a national, we had the world champion, Nick Kieman, there. So I got a selfie with the world champion. I got selfies with the Japanese BMX elite team. I got selfies with all these other people who are definitely more world famous than me. So it's just been kind of a fun ride. And it's, you know, he's kind of doing the same thing that you are right now, like famous after Worlds. It's like, nobody watches the old ladies ride, you know, it's all about watching these elite people who are so much better than us, but we like to get out there anyways. And it's a sport where you can just have fun with it. You can do what you want with it. But it is fun just seeing how much you can do and push your limits without, I've got to get up to work the next day. So with keeping that in mind. And
I was going to ask you, are you retired yet?
No, no, I can never retire, Sylvia.
Oh my God.
I'm a teacher and I started my career late in life. So it's
you're a teacher. Well, at least you have the summer. Yeah.
Exactly. That's why I'm talking with you at 8:00 in the morning on a Wednesday.
Well, thank you very much. I much appreciate that. I know you guys are out because my sister's in Florida, so they've been out for like a month, and my kids finished last week.
Yeah. We finished kind of early. I think we finished like the middle of June, I guess. We go back in August. So
yeah, that's right. You go back much earlier. But
that's
Donna,
kind of Worlds is like the opportunity for me because it's in August. And excuse me, it's in July, whereas it's usually in May or August. So I'm thinking it's in July. I'm going to go, and I was hoping I would qualify and I did. So it's kind of like my one opportunity to go to Worlds. And there are 3 other women who are 56 and over who are going also. They also qualified. So
from the US or in your category?
In our category, we have, because I'll be racing 40 and over women's cruiser challenge. And we have Liz Jones, who's also going. We have Lisa Bell and myself. So we're 56 and over in that category. And then we have a woman who's 61 and she will be, her name is Lori Masha, and she will be racing 25 and over in another category. So she's this 60-year-old gal racing 25 and over women. And we feel very fortunate to be in our position. This is our chance to represent our age demographic and say, you know what, you don't have to just sit on your hiney and do nothing. This is what we've been able to accomplish and just have fun with it. So we're going to go to France and have fun,
you know what, Donna, I have so many things to say to you, but as a 6-year-old woman, you have no idea how many women you are impacting by doing this, because you might think that people are not watching you, but women, so I'm 50, even women who are 40 who are looking at getting back into cycling or even trying BMX with their kids, and I want to say, if you can do it, then why can't I try it and like it? I probably will never, ever get on a BMX, but I'm on a bike already. But I'm talking about other women. And for our listeners, this is just so inspirational. And I love, love, love hearing this, because don't ever discount yourself as, not being inspirational. I mean, I can't even imagine what your students think of you, because holy mackerel, wow, you're a teacher and you're racing, you're going to France for Worlds. Who cares where you finish? You just went there. And another thing is, I'm you need to start getting sponsors, serious sponsors. Where are they?
Well, I'll tell you what though. They want the young guns, and I'm fully aware of that. And that's what happened. Yeah. I've never actively looked for sponsors anyways, because, I'm in a position with, I have a good job and I make a decent income, and
to get yourself to France.
Yeah. But I'll tell you what though, it's been a wild ride simply because it's a male dominated sport, and mountain biking was too. And that,
everything
that's where we have women. Everywhere that we have women who have managed to overcome, the Girls Gone Riding. Wendy Engelberg, when she saw that, it was kind of well, it's men. Let's do something just for women. And guys, unless they are a kind of a vetted supporter, no guys on these trails with these gals. When it's the gals ride, it's a gals ride. Don't bring your boyfriend. Don't bring your kids. It's girls only.
Yeah.
And so it's that kind of fortitude. She had a vision and she accomplished it above and beyond what, you think is possible. And so when I joined BMX, even when I first started out, I suddenly noticed I'm the only adult woman on this track right now. And so I was always racing the guys in the local races, which didn't bother me because that's what made me faster. But then, we had some women and their kids were on there, and then they got on the track too. And so now we have a pretty good group of women who have decided, I want to get out there and try that. My kid is having so much fun. And so gradually we've got some women, and now we actually have motos every week where we have just women, which, 4 years ago was unheard of.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not just because of me, though. It's just because the women are kind of tired of sitting on the sidelines and watching their kids have all the fun. But when you're talking about a male-dominated sport, sometimes that can be really intimidating to women. And you wonder, gosh, they're doing that and I can't do that. But yeah, we have women out there. In fact, we have one of the gals who joined us not too long ago, Eileen, is in her 50s also. And some of the other women are in their 40s. So I'm not talking about just young moms. I'm talking about women who felt like never get on a bike. I hardly know how to ride a regular bike, but yeah, so it's a lot of fun to see the women get out there, and our national groups are growing because of that. Local tracks are now having ladies only nights or ladies only clinics. And I think that really helps to support their feeling that I want to try it, but I'm not sure I should, so it's been a real blast just seeing the women get out there and realize, hey, if they can do it, I can do it too. So, yeah.
Yeah. And it's kind of, I started road cycling racing in 2005. So it was very much small groups of women. Even like I have a women's cycling club, and that's where, same as Girls Gone Riding, but ours is like a inclusive group, and we have membership and everything. We have 150 women, and it's so many, like 7, so we're like half are new, and like 50 are new. So we got a lot of returns. Like our retention's good, and it's really empowering seeing women get better at something that they're so new at, and to break through that mindset of I'm not good enough, like I'm not supposed to be here, I'm not fit enough, I'm like, it's like, you so deserve here. First of all, we've got 5 different fitness groups, 5. I'm sure you fit into at least one of them, and go have fun. Go socialize, make new friends, learn how to ride your bike. You're going to get faster. You're going to move up these groups, and you're going to start thinking like you just go one thing, then you're like, oh my God, I love this. I'm going to start looking at something else. And the same with gravel, like trying to putting together a gravel event for women. It's not going so well, but like, it's one of those works in progress kind of thing, start small, because, sometimes women just don't want to be in an event. They just do want to ride the pump track and not compete. But so let me ask you this. When you're in France, like you're going to Worlds, like this is pretty epic. And you say I don't know what category you said it was, but the cruise category. Now, if you get a good placing, okay, how do you think that's going to change you when you come back? Like, let's just imagine a second, Donna, you come back with like top 3, 1, 2, or 3. How is that going to change you? Like, are you going to be motivated to, now that you've had the experience in an international ring, are you going to be motivated to come back and train and try and get there again? What do you think?
I can tell you the only thing that'll probably change is the plate on my bike. That's a national number right now. If I were to place, if I were to place in the world, it would be a W plate. When I came back from Grands and I had won Grands, it was kind of like there was a moment on the track where they recognized us, and then you just move on. Honestly, it didn't hang in my head that long, because that one is over and now you move on to the next one. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think it's not gonna change me. I think probably because, number one, I did it. And that's what any experience that I've had in my life, I've tried rock climbing, I've tried beach volleyball, I've tried all these other things. Yep, I could do that. Okay, time to try something else. this is kind of in that same realm of experience where, well, I've never done worlds, I'm going to do it. And whether I make it through quarters or semis or into the final event, it's just something where, you know, you have to work your way up, of course. It all comes down to depth of the depth of competition as well.
Yeah.
So, you know, I know that if I make the main event, I will have a W plate because they give them out up to W8, you know, W1 to W8. If I don't make it that far, then I can say I made it to semis, or I made it through quarters, or I was eliminated in the first round, but I went to worlds.
Yeah, exactly. Who cares? Like,
that's it, because
it's irrelevant what happened there. I just went there.
Yeah. Plan A is really to eat my way through France till I get on the track and eat my way back. So,
that's so funny.
It can't all be about BMX, you know,
because
I'm 60. You know, if I were 25 and going to worlds, it would be totally different mindset. Probably, you know, because my future might depend on it. My scholarships might depend on it. My sponsors depend on that placing. Whereas what if I get W1 and I'm 60? Good job, Donna. What do you do then?
Check out this.
Go to work. It's Friday.
Yeah, that's fabulous.
I don't have any monetary gain from it. So for me, just being the age that I am and the experiences that I'm having, it's about, I did it and move on. You know, my kids, I have 3 kids.
I was going to ask.
They're in their 30s and 40s, and they were kind of like, BMX mom. Oh, I don't know. Because they've watched me go through the whole thing of bike touring on streets and mountain biking and motorcycles and stuff. And now they're kind of like, ew, sounds safer, but I don't know. But they support me 100% too. It's kind of like, yeah, good for you. You won grants. Yeah, good for you. You're going to worlds. Yeah, good for you. What's next?
Wow. So, you're like,
it's all kind of low key.
You guys, when you have kids, they're going to be BMXing with me. So you better thank me later.
Yeah. It's been a blast though. It's been, you know, I'd highly recommend BMX no matter what cycling you have. The women that have got on the track finally, you know, the BMX moms, we call them. They're kind of like, wow, I'm losing weight, or wow, this is good. I can feel myself getting stronger. So it's about what it does for you personally, and not so much about I won, because honestly, I don't win that much. But it's about making a goal and seeing if you can do it, you know, make those small goals and then move on to another one. And that's kind of where I am right now. And I shouldn't say that Worlds is a small goal, but it's an experience. And so I think that we're all, including the women that I'll be there with, you know, we're going because it's just a blast to be able to say, I went to Worlds, you know, I competed against Europeans and I survived, and we're just going to have
the opportunity. How could you say no? Like, honestly, there may never be another chance. Again. Yeah.
When it's in the US, I think next year it's going to be in Glasgow, Scotland. And then the year after that, it is going to be in the US. It'll be in Rock Hill, South Carolina, or no, North Carolina. North Carolina.
Carolinas?
One of the Carolinas.
On the East Coast.
Yeah, it's on the East Coast. But even then I won't be able to go because it's during the school year. So it's kind of like, you know, you look at your opportunities, take it when you can, and support the ones who are there, you know, when you can't make it. So, but yeah.
That's amazing. I hope all of our listeners are taking all this in. And so, so Donna, where can everybody follow you? And because, you know, of course, they're going to want to follow you while you're in France.
Yeah, I don't, you know, it's supposed to be live streamed, but they have like a subscription thing for France. So wait till afterwards and it'll be free on YouTube, I'm sure. But somebody
will be taping it.
Yeah, I do post a little bit on Instagram. I'm on, it's not just a bike on Instagram. Okay. And that's all my cycling stuff. You know, if I do any mountain biking, which hasn't been for a while, but most of it's BMX.
You're too busy training for Worlds.
I'm making my way through summer right now.
Yeah.
So it's not just a bike. And then on Facebook, I'm a little bit more picky. Like my Instagram one is public. You can just follow me. You don't have to request it. Facebook, I'm a little bit more private. But you know, if I haven't met you, I'm not going to okay the request because I don't know who you are or your intentions, because I have so many friends who have trolls, and I was like, I'm not into that. So, but
yeah, I know.
yeah, I'm a little bit more personal on Facebook, but yeah, Instagram is just about cycling, and right now it's the BMX trend that I'm doing, and one of those things that if you don't like BMX, don't follow me. So,
Yeah. So
yeah.
so you said this is the trend. Do you have like like the next one, or is there you're in this one for a little bit?
I'm going to be in this for a little while, but I'll tell you what, I'm not a cold weather person. I am in Southern California for a reason. But because I'm in Southern California, it also puts me in close proximity to mountains. And so when I was mountain biking and found Snow Summit, which is a fabulous bike park, it's got the lifts and everything. You drop them off at the top and you go down the trails and stuff. And we also have a Sky Park at Santa's Village, which it's near Lake Arrowhead. And these places are like just a couple hours away from me. Fabulous bike parks that are just the most fun. But of course, in the winter, it's for skiing and snowboarding. And I have been tempted so many times to just kind of snowboard. I am not a snow person. I do not like the cold, but I see my cousins and everyone going out and they're snowboarding. I'm thinking, oh my God, I have to try that. So that's going to happen within the next couple of years. Probably I'll get out there in the cold weather, pack it up, take my truck out there and get on a snowboard. So that'll be the next sport.
If I can give you any advice for snowboarding, get yourself a coach, not a coach, but like just hire somebody to teach you. Yeah. Because if you're going to fall hard, it's going to be on a snowboard. Like, cause I snowboard and I ski and I've been doing it for a long time. And I can just tell you when I transitioned from or changed up, I'm like, I'm going to be a snowboarder now. I have never fallen so hard, but I was like 30 back then. So I like get some good instruction straight away. Okay. Don't let your cousin take you. Okay. Just go on your edges, heel, toe. No. Get yourself some good instruction, or maybe even like a couple hours, because it's totally worth it. You'll pick it up really quickly, but to avoid the face plant and the hands down, like put wrist guards on. I'm not even kidding. Elbow pads, like you'll fall hard.
So basically wear all the armor that I'm wearing on the BMX track. I wear the wrist guards. I wear the elbows. I have the back plate. I've got the motorcycle.
Yes, bring it all. Bring it all.
Just transfer that over to snowboard. Thanks for the advice. Yeah, I will do that.
Yeah, if you're like, I'll teach you. No, I'm going to go to see that instructor over there. She's going to teach me. He's going to I'll see you in about 2 hours.
That was the plan. It's kind of like, don't let your boyfriend teach you. Don't let you get somebody with objectivity.
Because they'll take you straight to the top. And then you'll be like, what do I do? It's just like side to side, toe head. And I'm like, no. do it safely, because you truly don't want to break anything while snowboarding.
Yeah, very true. Let's not be lifted out, right?
No. So, oh my God, Donna, we wish you so much luck. So everybody, you go follow her on Instagram. And she'll be obviously putting her stories up there, I hope, and following her all the way to France and Worlds. I am so excited that I met you. And so maybe we'll have her back here after so she can tell us all about her great experience. Would you come back, Donna?
Oh, absolutely. This has been a blast. I've never done a podcast before, so this is very, very cool experience. And I'm so glad to have met you, because, it just makes those networks bigger. And I can now tell my friends, Sylvia, follow, because I've been, I've watched several of your podcasts. I'm like, wow, you're really informative and talk with such a wide variety of people. And it's, and that's what makes it interesting too. So I appreciate, and I'm so thankful that you asked me to join your podcast. It's a real honor.
Well, thanks. And that's one of the things about my podcast, is that bringing interest in people, all things cycling, to the forefront. And it's not just about technical stuff. It's about finding people like you who are doing really cool things, who are inspiring to us. So thanks a lot, Donna. And thank you to all of our listeners. Make sure that you follow the podcast on Instagram at Secrets from the Saddle Podcast, or you can go follow YouTube. That's where these amazing videos end up. So you can actually see Donna in all her greatness and her bike. And also we have a sign up for our cycling newsletter so you don't miss an episode. So with that, have an amazing day, everybody. Take care, and we'll see you on the next episode. Bye, Donna.
Very cool. Thanks a lot. Have fun this afternoon.